We are really excited that today's video is sponsored by our awesome partner at Omaze again. We'll let you know how you can enter for your chance to win a Tesla Model S Plaid. Yes, you heard that right. Model S Plaid a little later in the video. On today's episode, we have Tesla hitting yet another record for vehicle deliveries in Q3, more updates from Starbase, Tesla suing Rivian over battery tech. We also find out a bit more about Tesla's safety score and an all-new Cybertruck prototype spotted on the road. So let's get going. Tesla has reported their delivery totals for the third quarter of 2021, and it is another record-breaking quarter for the company. 241,300 Tesla vehicles were delivered to customers between the start of July and the end of September this year. Elon Musk promised us a few weeks back that September would be the craziest month of deliveries in Tesla history, and it turns out he was right on that one. Deliveries are up 20% compared to Q2 2021 and up a whopping 73% compared to the third quarter of 2020. This total far exceeds delivery forecasts by the major Wall Street firms who are anticipating around 220,000 cars. We know that the new Model S accounted for 9,275 of those deliveries, and global exports from Giga Shanghai have helped to push capacity to an all-time high. The introduction of the Model Y to Norway accounted for an additional 3,564 units in September, outselling the Model 3 in that country and pushing Tesla to a 40% EV market share in Norway. Investment firm Goldman Sachs took note of Tesla's unexpected success in the face of supply chain restrictions in 2021. They recently published a response saying, "While we had been anticipating a larger impact from the global shipping and semiconductor constraints on Q3 deliveries, the results imply to us that the company benefited from a combination of strong operational execution, Tesla's use of Shanghai as an export hub, and Tesla's planning in advance with the supply chain for robust 2021 growth. Furthermore, as more details on geographic mix become available, the strong deliveries could help to address concerns about demand for Tesla vehicles in China." End quote. The current annual delivery target that Wall Street has set for Tesla is 866,000 cars in 2021. In light of how far they've exceeded expectations in Q3 and the speed that Tesla is accelerating production into Q4, it's looking very likely that we can break the 900,000 vehicle mark. We might even hit 1 million cars this year, which would be an incredible win in the face of so much adversity this year for the company. This has led to an early week bump in Tesla's stock price, which has been a long time coming. We're also now hearing that shorting of Tesla stock has reached an all-time low. It was not long ago that this company was the most shorted stock in the Nasdaq. But now it seems like all but the most committed of those who bet against Tesla have given up. One last note on the Q3 report that might be nothing, but could be a sign of things to come. The Q3 report was addressed from Austin, Texas this time around. Usually, the location is listed as Palo Alto, California. It's very likely that we can take this as a sign that the company is already in the process of transferring their primary operations to Giga, Texas. Omaze has partnered with the charity Reverb, and by donating $10, you'll be entered for the chance to win a Tesla Model S Plaid. If the ability to win a Tesla Model S Plaid wasn't amazing enough, you also get to support an awesome charity. Reverb partners with musicians, festivals, and venues to green their concerts while engaging fans face-to-face at shows to take environmental and social action. Their work makes a real, positive impact on the environment, including the elimination of 3 million plus single-use plastic water bottles at concerts, supporting 2,000 family farmers, elevating the work of 4,000 local and national nonprofits, and eliminating over 180,000 tons of CO2 through their Music Climate Revolution campaign. The Tesla Model S Plaid has a nearly 400-mile range, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, with more than 1,000 horsepower and a top speed of 200 miles per hour. Yeah, it's fast. Very fast. So make sure you get your entries in. To potentially win a Tesla Model S Plaid and support Reverb, go to omaze.com/TeslaSpace or click the link in the description below. We are wishing you the best of luck and hope one of you wins. Thanks again to Omaze for supporting the channel, and let's get back to the video. Reports coming out of Starbase, Texas are showing indications that SpaceX has already begun construction of their second orbital Starship and Super Heavy booster pairing. Following the first successful cryoproofing test of the Starship S-20 on September 27th, we are seeing signs of new construction going on across the Starbase facility. The S-20 passed its first cryoproof in the middle of the night, making for some really cool images of the process, especially during the venting stages. Some of the heat shield tiles were seen falling off the nore of the ship, but Elon tweeted afterwards that the test was good, so they probably expected that to happen to some extent. Following that, we've seen the S-20 with its rear wing flaps extended, showing that progress continues even if it's slow, and it's a nice reminder that this rocket will eventually fly from space back down to the Earth. Meanwhile, the Super Heavy booster number 5 has already been stacked to full height in the high bay, though we shouldn't be expecting to see this one fly anytime soon. It will be really interesting to see how fast SpaceX moves to install the plumbing and thrust system into this next booster, seeing as how the current prototype has yet to have a proper test fire of its engine system. We'll have to wait and see what they're up to. There is still a lot of work to be done on the launch pad and tank farm before we can get to static fire tests on the ship SN-20 and booster B4. A lot of the reason for the slow progress on the two vehicles is not just the FAA, but also the fact that so much ground infrastructure still needs to be built before we can really go forward. That obviously includes all of the work being done on the launch tower and its giant mech arms. But to be able to fully proof and static fire test Super Heavy B4, SpaceX first needs to plumb, wire, and outfit Starbase's orbital launch mount and complete a majority of the orbital pad's massive tank farm. They seem to be more or less sacrificing the testing of Starship S-20 to allow a near total focus on orbital pad construction and activation over the last 8 weeks or so. It's hard to say if that's paid off, but the fact that SpaceX has chosen this particular moment to begin assembling the next orbital class Starship and Super Heavy suggests that a clearer plan is starting to come together. Tesla is widening its legal action against fellow electric vehicle maker Rivian, with Tesla now accusing Rivian of continuing to poach its employees and stealing, quote, highly proprietary technology related to batteries. Battery tech in question seems to be around the 2170 cells that Tesla uses in the current generation of Model 3 and Model Y vehicles. The Tesla cells are a custom design that are produced in partnership with Panasonic at the Gigafactory in Nevada. We know that Rivian uses 2170 sized cells in their electric vehicle platform for the R1. That just means that the cylindrical cell is 21 millimeters wide and 70 millimeters long. The Rivian cells are made for them by Samsung, but we're still unsure if Rivian's R170 cells are off the shelf or if they feature proprietary chemistries similar to the 2170 cells produced by Tesla. According to Tesla, the lawsuit that was initially filed against Rivian 14 months ago has not stopped the electric truck maker from stealing employees and acquiring intellectual property. To highlight this point, Tesla noted that during the summer, there was an instance where defectors to Rivian were caught red-handed stealing the core technology for its next generation batteries. Tesla notes that the batteries are, quote, the most essential element for any electric vehicle. Tesla's initial lawsuit against Rivian, which was filed last year, alleged that the truck maker was engaging in trade secret theft through employees that are reportedly being poached from Tesla. According to new reports, Tesla is not pulling any punches with their accusations, writing in a statement, quote, Now, apparently, under pressure from investors after nearly a dozen years without producing a single commercial vehicle, Rivian has intensified its unlawful efforts, end quote. As more and more people are jumping in to try the beta version of Tesla's full self-driving software, they are now in the process of dealing with Tesla's safety program, also in a beta phase at the moment. Obtaining a good safety score from the Tesla software is now pretty much the only barrier to entry for FSD buyers to upgrade their software to the latest beta version 10.1. Though when Elon first announced this, we didn't get very many details about what the software would actually be looking for when making that judgment. Now that it's been out in the world for about a week, we have a much better idea of how this works. You're basically getting a score out of 100 for your driving behaviors, which is updated after every day of driving. The most significant factor in the equation of that score seems to be the number of forward collision detection warnings per 1,000 miles, but that only applies when driving manually. Collision warnings that happen with autopilot active do not factor into the safety score. Then there is hard braking and aggressive turning. There are no visual or audio alerts for these events, but it seems likely that they are looking for any instance that the anti-lock brakes or stability control systems have to kick in to keep the car from skidding. Unsafe follow time is basically tailgating, pretty self-explanatory. Don't do that ever, it's a real asshole move. And finally, they are counting forced autopilot disengagements. So that can come from either not providing enough feedback on the wheel and having autopilot switch off, or trying to use autopilot in situations where it's not appropriate to be used and it has to switch itself off. What we're still not sure about is how Tesla is applying context to these different situations. For example, one owner is trying to figure out if taking the car to a racetrack would negatively affect his score. It shouldn't, but that's yet to be determined. Others have been curious about how hard braking relates to fast change yellow lights. There are definitely going to be times when braking hard is actually more safe than trying to proceed through an intersection. We're still not allowed to opt into the safety score tracker for FSD beta because we're up here in Canada and it's not available yet. But if you've been using it on your car, we'd love to hear about the experience in the comment section below. We've got new images of what looks like a new prototype of the Tesla Cybertruck. As always seems to be the case with these kinds of leaks, the image quality is absolute trash, but we can still see that this new truck really appears to have no door handles. Aside from that, I can't see anything that looks too obviously different. It seems to me that the truck might actually look a bit smaller. It might just be the perspective or something, I'm not sure. We already knew that Elon wanted the door handles removed from the Cybertruck, so that's nothing too surprising to see. What is really cool about this is that we now know that they have either refitted the existing Cybertruck with new parts or actually built at least one more prototype sometime recently. Either way, it's a good sign that even though production and deliveries of the final product are delayed into sometime late next year, Tesla is still putting work into the project. We'll definitely keep an eye out for any better quality pics or videos of this one. We've got a feeling there is going to be more cool stuff to report on this pretty soon. For more Tesla news delivered straight to your inbox, make sure to subscribe to our Tesla Space newsletter. We keep you up to date on all things Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and Boring Company in one quick and fun to read package. Link in the description to sign up. It's theteslaspace.com. And make sure to drag our emails over into your primary inbox so we don't get lost in the promotions tab. Also, don't forget to check out our new Space Race channel and subscribe over there for even more space exploration content. As always, if you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.